A hotter than expected US jobs report is pushing indexes to new highs, but it's also forcing investors to rethink when or if the Fed will cut rates. Geopolitics is back on the front page with US sanctions squeezing Iran's oil lifelines and new defense contracts signaling a militarized future beyond Earth's orbit. Here's your zoom out for July 3, 2025, where I help you see the bigger picture. The U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June, exceeding expectations and pushing the unemployment rates down to 4.1%. While these spurred markets like S&P 500 and Nasdaq to record highs, a closer look at the data shows some areas of softness, such as slower growth in private payrolls and declines in manufacturing jobs. This resilience in the labor market combined with sticky inflation means the Federal Reserve is likely to delay cutting interest rates this month. The overall takeaway here is that continued economic strength, while positive for employment, can lead to higher borrowing costs as the central bank prioritizes price stability. The U.S. Treasury has unveiled a new wave of sanctions targeting Iran's oil smuggling network, specifically the shadow fleet of tankers used to secretly move sanctioned crude across international waters. The move comes days after U.S. military strikes on key Iranian nuclear sites, which the Pentagon says have delayed Tehran's program by up to 2 years. Together, these actions mark a strategic escalation, one economic and the other military. So what's your zoom out takeaway? Shadow fleets aren't just loopholes, they're lifelines. By sanctioning the vessels that keep Iran's oil flowing, the US is cutting into a key source of revenue and dialing up pressure in an already unstable region. The message is clear. Economic warfare is becoming as strategic as missile strikes in shaping the future of global energy. UPS announced plans to offer voluntary buyout packages to its full-time US drivers. This move is part of a sweeping overhaul of its operations, described as the largest network reconfiguration in the company's history. The company had earlier announced plans to reduce its workforce by about 20,000 employees in 2025. This follows a previous round of 12,000 layoffs in January 2024. A reduction in deliveries for Amazon, tariffs implemented by the U.S. government, and increasing automation contributed to the layoffs and closure of over 70 UPS facilities. These measures are expected to save UPS $3.5 billion in 2025. So what's your zoom out takeaway? The decision by a company as large and influential as UPS to significantly restructure its workforce is part of a broader shift in the logistics landscape. As automation becomes increasingly integrated into operations, managing the potential friction between labor and technological advancement will be a crucial element of the future. Boeing has secured a $2.8 billion contract from the U.S. Space Force to develop and produce military-grade satellites as part of Washington's push to modernize its orbital defense capabilities. The deal shows the strategic role aerospace giants like Boeing play in maintaining space superiority amid intensifying competition from China and Russia. This contract marks one of the Pentagon's largest recent commitments to commercial satellite technology and includes next-gen platforms designed for secure communication and threat detection. Boeing shares ticked upward following the announcement, while defense sector stocks broadly held steady. The news adds weight to ongoing investor interest in the militarization of space. So what's your zoom out takeaway? Space is no longer just the domain of exploration. It's a critical and increasingly contested environment. Commercial aerospace firms are now integral partners in national security, delivering advanced capabilities that support vital defense missions. So the bottom line is this. A strong job market can lift Wall Street or stall the Fed. Shadow fleets, shipping routes, and satellites are no longer footnotes. They're front lines in a new era of strategic competition. And when giants like UPS restructure, they're telling us something bigger. The rules of trade, labor, and logistics are being rewritten. When the world zooms in on the noise, I zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. What stories are you following today? Drop your take in the comments, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. My name remains Eniola Lunge, and I'll see you on Monday. Happy 4th.